that you miss the train is enough for me. That's what it means. Min su'ali wa ikhtiyari, from my complaining, su'ali, from my moanings, from my, alama. Kenapa ni alamak, kenapa dia orang cakap pukul 7.29? So, the knowledge of my Lord is enough for me from my complainings. Wakhtiyari, and from all the will and effort I put into trying to catch that train. Lari. Tengok platform 8, bukan platform 1. Memang kena tinggal train. You tried everything. Telephone Elma, telephone my wife, tried everything. Tried to make dua that the train to Oxford from 9:04 will be delayed so we can catch the train to Oxford, for example. When we reach Birmingham at 9:05, for example. The possibility of that 1 minute. All those are our ikhtiyar. We tried our ikhtiyar, tapi Allah punya qadar is that you're going to be in Birmingham that day. So, qad kafani ilmu rabbi. The knowledge of my Lord is enough for me. Min su'ali, from my questioning the qadar of Allah. And wakhtiyari, and from my effort, ikhtiyar, to try to tukarkan the result of the qadar of Allah. Fadu'ai wabtihali, and my prayers. Lepas tu, dah tahu dah panik, dah tak boleh apa, baru nak start. Alamak, tolonglah lah, balik juga Oxford malam ni. And my doa, wabtihali, and my pleadings, how do you say? Pleading, mohon ampun. Bukan mohon ampun, ni mohon nak balik Oxford malam ni. Mohon, please nak balik juga. And my pleadings, my duas, my imploration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that night, shahidun li biftiqari, is a personal proof for me that I am in need of Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for me, my friends, for me personally, that was what the English philosophers call a religious experience. How can it be? Hari Rabu on the Wednesday, we're talking about this ulama. How can it be? Brother Ahmad wanted me to go to the wedding and I have 1,000 excuses, don't want to go. I ended up going because of all that sabab musabab. Completely out of the blue. Something unplanned. So then for me personally, I felt the presence of God in that case. I felt the hadrah of Rabbaniyah, as the ulama say. This is the meaning of when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Sanurihim ayatina fil afaq wa fi anfusihim hatta yatabayyana anna lahumul haqqa. We, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have shown you our signs, our ayat. Signs, meaning ayat bukan ayat Quran. Signs, meaning ayat, signs that we exist. Fil afaq, in the horizons, meaning in the horizon of the world, meaning in the dunya, in the cosmos. This is why in philosophy the cosmological argument is this. Kita tahu God exists because the world exists, because someone must have created the world. The world couldn't come from nothing. Big Bang, there you go. There must be murajjih, there must be someone who would tilt that to cause the world to exist. Yeah? So that's Sanurihim ayatina fil afaq. We have shown you our signs in the world that we exist. That's the meaning. Wa fi anfusihim, and within yourself. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The personal proof. The personal relationship you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The religious experience, as the English philosophers call it. That you will have. That every one of us should seek and strive for. The subjective experience you will have vis-a-vis the divine world, the infinite world. We are the finite that cannot comprehend the infinite. But every one of us, as Imam al-Ghazali struggled with his own faith, sampai akan syakkan whether there is God or not. This is the great Imam al-Ghazali. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. That when we die, we all return back to, because we all belong to Him, and so we will return. So for me, that miraculous, it is miraculous for me. Kharq al-'ada, something extraordinary that happened on that Sunday from the Wednesday. That I knew, mesti ada Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, takkan tak ada. There is something an entity that created all this. It was so powerful that I could not reject it. And Allah continues in the verse, وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, and within yourself, and in the world that we have shown you that we exist. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ أَنَّ لَهُمُ الْحَقِّ, until the truth becomes so manifest that you could not reject it. And this is the meaning that if you then reject the haqq, the truth, when you have that religious experience, you become a true kafir. Someone who becomes, not just kafir in name, but the true kafir asli. That, the meaning of kafir originally dalam bahasa Arab is to bury something, to hide something. You realize, you recognize, you witness, shahidun li biftikari. This was a personal proof for me that I am in need of him, meaning then he exists. But then when I know actually there is Allah, memang ada Tuhan, but then I try to hide that truth by, what is it? Among psychiatrists, they say denial, go into denial. I deny that there is such. Then you become a true kafir. May we all be protected from that fate. وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ هَذَا musibah. هذه musibah. May we all be protected from that musibah. May we all die as Piramli said. Aku mati dalam iman. So every human being Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us that way. And so may we all then learn that in iman there is no taqlid. In matters of aqidah, in matters of faith, there is no taqlid. That you all have to learn to struggle with your faith and come to a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is one of the most important lessons of Imam al-Ghazali, Hujjatul Islam. The greatest theologian that the Muslims ever known. Until today, people macam St. Thomas Aquinas, whom the Catholic Church celebrate as the Doctor Angelicus, their savior, the savior of the Christian spirit, all the way to Kant, have benefited from people like al-Ghazali in their Latin translations of the Maqasid, for example. Imam al-Ghazali is not just Hujjatul Islam, not just a proof for the Muslims that we can be proud of. He also contributed to world civilization. He also contributed to both Jews and the Christians. Maimonides, Ibn Maimun, who worked in Muslim Spain, was directly influenced by Imam al-Ghazali. Such a powerful man. Even with that powerful man, he, at one point in his life, but for a short period, sampaikan dia punya iman pun tergoncang. That's what made his faith stronger. That is, in sum, therefore, a synopsis, 1%, a bird's eye view of this great man, Imam al-Ghazali. That is why he's Hujjatul Islam. Such a great maqam. So we should be proud at this, that Alhamdulillah, we share with him what? The legacy in fiqh. He belonged to Madhab Shafi'iyah. It's good. Don't have a choice when we were born. Dah qadar Tuhan dah memang Syafi'i. Alhamdulillah. If you're born in Pakistan, you're Hanafi. If you're born in Morocco, you're Maliki. I studied a bit of Maliki fiqh when I was there. And especially now here in the UK, I have to study a bit of the Hanafi fiqh, especially for the constituency who are the Hanafis, the Pakistanis in particular. But these are things that when you're born, you have no choice. So you consider yourself in a way lucky, because why? Imam al-Ghazali is one of these few Imams of the Muslims that even the other madhabs read and accept him as the, wow, he is Hujjatul Islam. Not just Hujjatul Shafi'i, but Hujjatul Islam. Brilliant. So, in faith, remember, every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. This is the basic message of our religion. The basic message of indeed all religions, but in particular of Islam. Which is why that we cannot be judgmental. We cannot then have su'uzon of people. Just because you pergi masjid, you pergi solat Jumaat, you rasa, hebat ni. Macam hang jebat. Yes. Dia tu nak masuk apa tu? La hawla wa la quwwata. Do not be haughty. Never challenge God. Be careful. He will test you in ways that you can never expect. So I learned my lesson that way. So I shared, closing, both the story of Imam al-Ghazali, how he struggled with his faith, and my own personal journey, for example. And this is what happened just last month. And this is the positive message of our religion, that something you have to